Welcome to the Startup Funding Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, where we talk about how to raise funding and invest in startups and the time it takes to drink an espresso. If you have a question about startup funding or investing, please go to the website, startupfundingespresso.com, and type in your question into the chat bot in the lower right corner to receive an answer. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot of startup funding and investing. After winning a grant, you'll need to apply the grant funding to your project. Consider these best practices on how to use grant funding. Build a rapport with your grant representative. Grant representative is your contact point with the granting organization. Find a way to work well with them. Set up an accounting system for your grant. Record all expenditures into the system to provide reports to the granting organization. Also be prepared for an audit if one should occur. Look up the reporting requirements for your grant and set up a plan to fulfill those requirements. Grant funding is given for a specific set of activities, and make sure you're using the funds only for those activities. Close out the grant with a report to the granting organization. Verify you met all the requirements. Set a goal for what you want to achieve with the grant funding. Focus on building a prototype and selling it to a strategic customer. Consider these steps in using grant funding. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start listening to today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.